Grab your popcorn, folks, because what you're about to hear will make you question reality itself. These stories are so outlandish, so bizarre, that they sound like they were ripped straight from the pages of a science fiction novel or a Hollywood script. But trust me, every single one of them is 100% true. And hold on to your hats, we're diving into a world where the unbelievable is real and the real is unbelievable. Prepare to be amazed, shocked, and maybe even a little bit confused as we explore these incredible tales. These 5 true stories are crazier than fiction. First up, we have a tale that sounds like it was concocted by a comedy writer, but it's a piece of genuine history. The Great Emu War. Yes, you heard that right. In 1932, Australia found itself in a peculiar predicament that led to one of the most unusual military campaigns in history. In 1932, Australia literally declared war on emus because these oversized birds were trashing their crops. Farmers were desperate as their livelihoods were being destroyed by these feathered invaders. The government decided to take action, and what followed was nothing short of a farce. Armed with machine guns, soldiers went head-to-head with emus and lost. Despite their best efforts, the emus proved to be surprisingly resilient and elusive. The soldiers found it nearly impossible to hit the fast-moving birds, and the emus seemed to mock their efforts at every turn. Yep, the emus outran and outlasted them. The soldiers' attempts to curb the emu population were met with failure after failure, and the emus continued to wreak havoc on the farmlands. The Great Emu War ended in a humiliating defeat for the humans, and the emus emerged victorious. Sounds like a bad joke, but it's real history. The Great Emu War remains a fascinating and humorous chapter in Australia's past, a reminder that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Story 2. Meet Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the man who survived not 1 but 2 atomic bombs. His story is a testament to human resilience and the sheer unpredictability of life. He was in Hiroshima during the first blast in 1945, survived, and then went home to Nagasaki just in time for the second one. Imagine the horror and disbelief he must have felt surviving one of the most devastating events in human history, only to face it again just days later. Sounds too wild to be true, but it's documented fact. Tsutomu Yamaguchi's incredible survival story is a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the extraordinary circumstances that can shape our destinies. Now, for some spy nonsense. In the 1960s, the CIA trained cats to be spies. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Cold War era was a time of intense espionage, and the CIA was willing to try just about anything to gain an edge over the Soviets. Yep, Operation Acoustic Kitty was all about using cats to sneak into Soviet embassies with listening devices. The idea was that cats, being small and agile, could go unnoticed and gather valuable intelligence. It sounds like something out of a spy parody, but it was a real, albeit misguided effort. Spoiler, it failed miserably. The cats, unsurprisingly, did not cooperate with the plan. They were easily distracted, difficult to train, and often wandered off, rendering the operation a complete failure. Move over, James Bond. Here comes Mr. Whiskers. The story of Operation Acoustic Kitty is a humorous footnote in the annals of espionage history, a reminder that not all ideas, no matter how creative, are destined for success. Then there's the Dancing Plague of 1518. This bizarre event took place in Strasbourg, France, and remains one of the most mysterious and inexplicable occurrences in history. In Strasbourg, France, hundreds of people danced uncontrollably for days, with some dancing to their deaths. The phenomenon began with a single woman who started dancing in the streets, and soon others joined in, unable to stop themselves. No one knows why, but this bizarre event actually happened. Theories range from mass hysteria to ergot poisoning, but to this day, the true cause of the dancing plague remains a mystery. It's a chilling reminder of how little we sometimes understand about the human mind and body. And finally, in 1995, Robert Lee Brock sued himself for $5 million. This story is a perfect example of how truth can be stranger than fiction, and how the legal system can sometimes be a stage for the absurd. He claimed he violated his own civil rights by getting drunk and committing crimes. Brock, who was an inmate at the time, argued that his own negligence had led to his incarceration and that he should be compensated for the suffering he had caused himself. Since he couldn't afford to pay himself, he wanted the state to do it. The case was as bizarre as it sounds, and it quickly became a media sensation, with people around the world scratching their heads in disbelief. Unsurprisingly, the case was dismissed. The judge ruled that Brock's lawsuit was frivolous and without merit, but it remains a fascinating example of the lengths to which people will go in their pursuit of justice, however misguided. Yep, that's a real lawsuit. It's a story that highlights the sometimes surreal nature of the legal system and the human capacity for creativity, even in the most unlikely of circumstances. So there you have it, 5 true stories that are stranger than fiction. Each of these tales is a testament to the unpredictability of life and the boundless imagination of the human mind. They remind us that sometimes reality is far more bizarre than anything we could dream up. Think you've got a crazier story? Drop it in the comments. We love hearing about the strange and unbelievable events that make our world so fascinating. Who knows, maybe your story will be the next one we feature.